Hello everyone. Today we'll discuss the necessity of capital generation and management. So here, let me tell what is the capital. Capital is a term for financial assets such as funds held in deposit accounts or it may be funds obtained from special financing sources like banks, loans through bank loans. So wouldn't be nice if capital simply appeared, generated out of thin air? Surprisingly, many managers feel there is no budget for capital projects. This seems that bit funny. Okay, so capital projects invariably pay for themselves. The idea of no budget for increasing capital to our ears sounds like as an oxymoron, something that makes no sense, something that contradicts itself. Still, we understand the feeling. Some capital projects might be expensive with upfront cost and years until payback. That doesn't sound like a budgetary problem. However, if your capital project feels like a budgetary problem, that means you have the wrong capital project, at least the wrong one to start with. So that means how? So here at Financial Guard, recognize that there are many capital projects. There are quicker projects. There are inexpensive projects. There are projects to fit every budget, every time frame, and every company strategy. Some projects are practically free. So not each and every project is expensive, and each and every project is going to complete soon, and not each and every project is able to get freely. So different prospects of project, we are going to have different point of capitals. The best way, perhaps the only way to approach the capital management is to find many potential projects and then order them, prioritize. We have to give the priority according to the ease in which we can do the first, which we can able to complete the fast with little or with minimum resources. To the quick one first, generate some capital. After your first project is a quick win, reinvest a portion of those gains into the next project. The first project was like trimming the pump. The first project pays for the second, and the second pays for the third, and so on like that. Your entire capital management program can cost you only the price of your cheapest project. This causes a positive reinforcing spiral of capital generation. This is where you want to be in a self-financing spiral that generates capital. So here, so the capital generation is nothing but here, for example, if we are going to invest some money, so uh, without investment, we cannot able to start any project or any business. So initially, we are going to gather the capital from the resources like bank loan. So if we are going to invest that in one project, after the completion of the project, if we are going to gain some profits, and through the profits, we are going to invest the profit in the next project. Like that, so on. The second business profits are going to invest on the third one. Like so on, we are going to generate the capital for another business profit. So in this way, we are going to generate the capital. And regarding types of capital, we are going to have different types. First one it is fixed capital, working capital, circulating capital, sunk capital, floating capital, money capital, real capital, private capital, social capital, national capital, and international capital. So here in your syllabus, we are going to have only two types, that is fixed and as well as working capital. So fixed capital is nothing but it is the money where we are going to invest regarding salaries and wages of the workers and employees, and not only that, regarding salaries of the experts, regarding the salaries of the management, administration, all the stuff. So why it is called fixed? Because the salaries as well as their expenditure which we are going to spend on the staff cannot be changed. And also here the investment which is going to made on the infrastructure, it doesn't change. So regularly it is going to have the same amount which we are going to invest on the staff. And working capital. So capital is nothing but it is changing according to the number of production units. For example, if you want to increase the productivity units, if you want to increase the units, then what we have to do? If you want to raise the production, then we have to production volume. If you want to increase, then we have to increase the raw material. Whenever you are going to increase the raw material, then as usual you have to pay more cost. So as long as the raw material, as long as the raw material is increasing, the cost is increasing. The expenditure on which we are going to spend is also increasing. As the raw material increases, the people who are going to allocate, the people who are going to look after all those works are also increases, and also the investment of the people is also increases. So it is based upon the working capital is based upon the volume. It is based upon the units which we are going to produce in the company. If we produce less products, then it requires less money. If we produce more units, then it requires more money. Like this. And next, coming to this, what is the nature of the capital? So, capital is a man-made factor. So, generally, as usual, it is a man-made. It it is not. It cannot be. Uh, it is not a natural one. Okay. So, it is a man-made factor. And similarly, it is a productive factor. It is produced by the human beings, where we are going to invest some money through the banks or some broad property by some whatever you're going to have some property. If you save that, then we can reuse that capital in other productive environments. And capital has elastic supply. Elastic supply means it is expandable and it is durable. It has easy mobility. Easily it can move from one place to another place. It is a wealth. It has derived demand. Okay, it's quite as usual. Round about production and the social cost. And next one. Okay. And then next coming to the budget. So generally we use this budget in our home, quite common. So we are going to estimate what is our monthly budget and what and according to suppose if we are going to plan a new house, and according to that if you want to plan a new house you have to uh, keep some we have to allocate some savings, and for the savings what you are going to have the budget in the home, how you have to allocate the monthly budget. Okay, so here budget is nothing but on what aspects we are going to spend the money, how it is going to have the estimation regarding the expenses and as well as revenue. Okay, so let us define what is the budget. So budget is an estimation of revenue and expenses over a specified future period of time and is usually compiled and re-evaluated on a periodic basis. Okay, so it is evaluated. Generally, it is not a fixed one. It is an estimation. Generally, we are going to estimate some budget, and according to that, we are going to know the difference between the actual expenses as well as expected budget. So here it is an estimation of the expenses as well as revenue over a specific duration of time and is usually compiled and re-evaluated on a periodic basis. So budgets can be made for a person, a group of people, a business, government. Generally, it is made. Generally, these budgets can be made for an individual, a group of people, an institution, a home, a business, a government. Like each and everywhere, we are going to make a budget, or just about anything else that makes and spends money. For example, here in this picture, first one it is rent. Assume the rent is 1200, for example, the budget. We are going to allocate $1,200 for rent, and actually we are going to pay the, so rent is fixed, here it is fixed. So the actual expenditure is also same as what we are assessed in the budget, that is $1,200. So here we are going to have no difference, that is zero. Similarly, for food, assume for food, we have allocated $675, but unexpectedly we have spent it, we have $726.45, and the difference is how much we have got the difference, plus $51 some point. Okay, we have got more expenditure than the budget. Similarly, for gas, like that, whatever we are going to have, elements which we are going to spend in monthly or whatever. So if you calculate the difference, then we are going to have some, it's based upon the situations. If we get the differences, then it's based upon differences, we get some difference. Suppose we assume the monthly budget is 20,000 for all the expenses of a family. If we get, and according to that, we are going to allocate the money for different aspects. If we get difference, then we have expended, we have spent it more over the things, so that we can plan the next month to reduce the shopping or whatever, to reduce the budget, to reduce the actual uh, spending of the money. Okay, so here in this budget, in the syllabus, we are going to have two types: production budget as well as labor budget. So this production budget calculates the number of units of products that must be manufactured and is derived from a combination of the sales forecast and the planned amount of finished goods inventory to have on hand, usually a safety stock to cover for unexpected increases in demand. So here, the production budget generally, it means it calculates how much units of products are going to produce, how many units are going to manufacture. So based upon that, how much cost we are going to allocate, how much budget is going to allocate regarding the products which are going to manufacture, and it is derived in the form of combination of the sales forecast and planned amount of finished goods inventory to have on hand. Okay, so actually, what are the products we are going to have on hand? Usually, safety stock to cover for the unexpected increases in the demand. So, I will show one pro forma of the various report of the production budget. For example, see here, this is a quarter. Assume it is a quarterly budget. So, manufacturing overhead cost here, first quarterly forecast, and it is the actual cost, and what is variance is nothing but what is the difference and how much percentage we have got the difference. First one is indirect labor. So indirect labor means we are going to pay the salaries for the management, it is fixed, and some cases the wages are also paid to the workers. This is a variable cost. Why? Because so we are going to pay the wages based upon the hourly basis. If they work for more hours, then the cost is going to increase based upon the time they have spent on the work. So for a management level, the salaries are fixed. Why? That's why we are going to leave the fixed cost and is a variable cost. So here it is, For example, the fixed cost which we have spent on management salaries is $90,000 and actually we have given 92,000 and the variance is $2,000. Similarly, for workers, the wages which have given is $6,90,000 and the actual we have given is $7,56,000 and the variance is 66,000. So like the plant and infrastructure. So regarding four floor space leasing, which we have taken for lease, that is nothing but the rent, which is of fixed cost. Insurance can also be treated as a fixed cost. Maintenance, it's nothing but based upon the usage of daily items regarding electricity bill, regarding phone bill, regarding internet facilities, regarding plantations, like that. Depends upon the usage. That's why it's a variable cost. Utilities is also a variable cost. So these, so here, so over here total the estimated budget is one. Okay. So here is estimated budget is 110,34,000 as well. Here, what happened? We have got more than this. This we have got more than $76,400 extra expenditure than the actual budget. So based upon this, the next quarterly budget they will spend in such a manner that it should not be reached to the budget. It should not overcome this budget value or it should be less than this budget value so that they can equalize the total entire budget of the business. And then coming to the labor budget. So labor budget is nothing but it is a type of budget created by a business, company or organization for the complete number of employees that are employed in a labor created, accounted, recorded and apportioned accurately. Every business, company or organization that employs people has a monthly labor budget. So this, the previous case, the budget is allocated regarding the production of units in the manufacturing unit. So based upon the production, based upon the number of units which they have manufactured, the budget has been allocated. And in this case, the budget is made based upon the employees. How many number of employees are going to involve in the activity? So how many number of employees are going to do certain works regarding business activities, regarding administration activities, regarding accounts, regarding record maintaining, like the different areas we are going to have the employees as well as labor. So on that, how much we are going to spend? That is going to given by the how much budget is going to allocate it. So this labor budget is going to give the estimation regarding the employee salaries as well as wages based upon the work they have performed. I will show one pro forma. See, it's an example. Zebza's music shop. Here the direct labor budget December 31st. Here annually. I will tell here budgeted production units 500. So labor hours required per unit is 0.75. So total hours need for production is 375. Assume. So cost per labor hour labor rate is 1500. So total cost of direct labor is, so here totally they are going to require these many hours. Okay. So according to that they are going to plan how much they pay, how much they can able to recruit the people. So for each hour they are going to allocate some $15. That is the remuneration, or that is the wages which is going to pay for the worker. So the total cost of the direct labor can be this total number of hours needed for the production into cost per the labor hour. So this gives $5,625. So it's based upon the labor hours. The next section I will tell regarding the I will tell profit and loss account as well as balance sheet. And thank you. I'm closing my session.